Why, hello everybody. I need to turn on my my ring light so that people can see me. That one. That one. Hello. Welcome. I am Tom Collihew. We will be watching WWE Raw, and we are live on both YouTube and on Twitch. This time last week, you know what we had? We had a damn good Raw. Will we have it again? Who can tell? Who can tell? We're only 4 minutes away from finding out. Ed says it's Tom time, and it is indeed Tom time. We did land on a strange one during the Sunday stream, a Mr. McCollihew. We landed on that. Don't know why, don't know how, but that's where we ended up. So that might be something we revisit. Some17 is here as well, saying, hey Tom, welcome Some17. I'm just going, because I'm on StreamYard, I do need to set up my phone so that I can see what's going on Twitch. But first, I'm going to pop onto Twitter and say, we are live with Monday night WWE Raw. And then I just put in the address, https. Whoa. There you go. Easy. And just like that, we are away. So we are watching WWE Raw today. The plan, at its most basic, is to hopefully enjoy it. But we got to sort of cross our fingers. We sort of have to cross our fingers for that. I think we can all agree that we sort of have to cross our fingers. Because I don't know if lightning's going to strike twice. I'm crossing my fingers and I'm hoping. In the meantime, my video earlier today, the predictions for the WWE draft after WWE SummerSlam 2021, is currently sitting on 82 views, which is a good start. And we've gained one more subscriber on YouTube. So thank you to everyone who has jumped on and said hi. Put that there so I can see. Planned for tonight's WWE Raw. The plan is to main event with the triple threat match. That is Randy Orton versus AJ Styles versus Drew McIntyre. That is a planned main event. It sounds like we're going to open with the 6-woman tag team match, but we will actually be opening with a promo and then getting to the 6-woman tag match in standard WWE fashion. So nothing particularly fancy in that regard. Hello again, Brandon. Thank you for rejoining us. After spoiler warning earlier today, we did cover a bit of news, talk about the rumor look back, and in addition to that, we also talked about, of course, the wonderful world of WWE Raw. We watched a Breezango versus Usos match. Good times. Good times. Even the referee's not in the company anymore, so, you know, negatives. And we are 1 minute away from WWE Raw starting. I'll be interested to see how Kofi Kingston is used this week. Will he be used entirely solo, or will Xavier Woods be there in his corner? Who can tell? Who can tell? And as I'm on StreamYard, I can actually have Discord open, which will be good. So I can do that to keep track of people and see how everyone's doing. Wow. WWE saying, who wants to be a WWE superstar? They're struggling that badly, are they? That's bad. That is bad. MVP, as we know, has been scouting NXT for call-ups over the past few days. Vince McMahon apparently going to go down and do some calling up himself, which surprises me. I mean, you just watch TV. You could watch it on TV and they're choosing not to, and it's so baffling to me that happens. They could literally watch it on TV. Raw is now starting with a Then Now Forever. I didn't realize they started showing Vince McMahon Sr. Didn't realize. I don't see Vince McMahon Jr. anywhere. I see Naomi's finally made it onto the Then Now Forever, which is good. The WWE Together is trying to delete a lot of the reality of the situation, to be completely honest. I've just realized I'm missing my logo. Wonder why that was. No opening recap. That's baffling for WWE. Instead, we've jumped straight in with a bit of Hyro and we're off. Haven't even had the intro. I'd expect to at least have the intro. Briefcases are up in the sky again. Damian Priest is wrestling. Got a battle royal, it looks like. Jeff Hardy's wrestling. Oh. Randy Orton will not be competing tonight. Hello and welcome to the show, Rami. Jeff Hardy could still make it to Money in the Bank. A letter from Randy is coming to triangles. Certainly starting it. It's written in green crayon. Riddle's already got a spot. I can imagine Randy Orton saying this. This is the dumbest thing. Thank you, Rami. I quite enjoy it myself. I think we've got a very good stream here too. So my immediate thought was that Jeff Hardy could find a way in. Now I'm starting to think that Matt Riddle's going to get Randy Orton into the match with him. He's going to have to get through the Battle Royal first. Sonya Deville was shouting, go, go, go. I thought she was shouting, bro, bro, bro. Felt tip pen. And says, oh my goodness, Riddle as Randy's surrogate. This, once again, is why I think that Matt Riddle's going to be taking the win. I really do think he's going to be taking the win. I didn't originally. Nick talked me into it a little bit, but he did so very effectively. But certainly building him. J-Dubs here says, perfect start to the show. Riddle is hilarious most of the time. I think that's fair. I think it's fair to say most of the time. And Chelsea's here as well saying Riddle is the GOAT. And a happy Monday to all. I do love how we have a very unique collection of people who are just here for the watch parties. There's quite a few of you who just have a great time here and just always look forward to it, to seeing you guys and just hanging out. It's a lot of fun. Riddle is almost immediately eliminated. Who have we got? That looks like Jinder Mahal, Jeff Hardy, Viking Raiders, Cedric Alexander, Mansoor, Humberto Carrillo, Ali, Angel Garza. Is that Shelton Benjamin? That is Shelton Benjamin. Damian Priest. R-Truth is there. Couple of good choices. I'm kind of all in on Riddle on this one, to be honest. Drew Gulak's gone. Didn't catch him until it was too late. Cedric Alexander's either done something with his hair or he's wearing a headband. I can't really tell. Riddle spent the entire match so far hanging on the top rope. Damian Priest's a good shout. Jeff Hardy could still make his way in. Ali would be fantastic. There are some very good options. technically the 24/7 championship is still on the line here as well. So, for example, you've got Akira Tozawa there, who is the 24/7 champion. R-Truth is still in. This gives McIntyre and Styles a significant advantage. Garza has not gone. It's 1 foot on the floor. Still alive. Still alive. Oh, Square Table says, I'm in the Thunderdome. You'll have to try and let us know where you are, mate. Just see if you can call out. We'll see and try and spot you. Garza's gone now. I'm confused. Why is there a Battle Royal? Randy Orton cannot compete, so the Battle Royal is to determine the third man in the triple threat match. That's why I've got a triple threat. Ed says, my guess is Jinder wins. Certainly an option. Yeah, Ed tries to explain, Randy didn't make the show. Battle Royal is to fill his spot. And as Brandon points out, it's a good way to get people on TV for sure. There's a very good reason to win this match. There's a good heat behind it. And basically, I'd imagine most of these will not be on Raw going forwards. Purple Hat Coco Beware shirt. Okay, we'll keep an eye out for you. $1 million bell. That should definitely stand out. You've definitely made yourself stand out, mate. I'll keep an eye out. Yeah, this has got a lot of people on TV, but I'd imagine a lot of these people are going to be either on SmackDown or on NXT in the near future. Makes sense to me. Thank you there, Bailey. Welcome, Dylan, and thank you very much for offering a gift sub up to the stream before Bailey 1991, the beneficiary of it, and has already said thank you. So I love how we work here. Thank you very much, and welcome, Dylan. Glad to see you, mate. Glad to see you. How was work? How was work? R-Truth gone. What do we think about Raw so far? It started well, but to be fair, it's been 8 minutes, so benefit of the doubt. New 24/7 title. Oh, you are slightly ahead of me. You are slightly ahead of me there, Square Table. But to be fair, kind of saw that one coming. Drew Gulak picks it up. He's just being cleaned out by R-Truth. Tozawa let R-Truth pin Drew Gulak there. And okay, can I just say, these cannonballs are not landing properly. They're really not. Ed says, yay for gifts. Chelsea also with a little gift package. And Noob says, good evening. Good evening, Noob. Welcome to the show. Ed says, WWE stole our gimmick from earlier. Yeah, I mean, it's not like we stole their 24/7 championship or anything. Omos is walking down, looking for the Viking Raiders. This is a good way to protect them. Ultimately, they had every right to earn that spot, as it were. But that really heats up the Styles and Omos versus Viking Raiders feud. Big guy, Omos, big guy. But yeah, Dylan, how was work, mate? Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it wasn't hell. The Viking Raiders are definitely going to be involved in the main event. I think we all very confidently can say that. If you are watching on YouTube, please do remember to click that like button. It really helps us grow right here. I don't know what that means, Rami. I have no idea what that means. Jill says, why would the Viking Raider guy just stand on the ropes? I think it's just because they want to attack Omos. It's supposed to be a blood feud, but it doesn't feel like a blood feud, you know? It doesn't feel like one. Aww. Rami says, you're my favorite streamer. Aww. This is the first time I've ever seen you here, so I'm clearly making a very good first impression. Welcome to the show. We're currently on commercial break. There's a Daniel Bryan lookalike in my commercial break. Wasn't ready for that one. Right. The feed in the Thunderdome is a minute behind the USA Network. Well, you guys are definitely ahead of me then, because I'm behind you, Square Table Degenerates. I'm behind you. I think they kick you out if you hold up any paper advertising, like who you are or what you're doing. So if I said to you, hold up a thing that says hi, it wouldn't work out. So it's fair enough. We'll keep an eye for it. If one of the Vikings had a magical axe to beat Omos, you mean like a bit Bludgeon Brothers? Feels a bit Bludgeon Brothers. Matt's here, welcome. What's the Battle Royal for? I missed the opening. The Battle Royal is to determine the third competitor in the triple threat because Randy Orton is not currently available. Matt Riddle has found his way into the match to represent Randy Orton. And honestly, I think he's got a very high chance of winning. Jeff Hardy's in there, though. There's a lot of other people as well. Xander TV says, big up from YouTube. Welcome, Xander TV, and welcome to the YouTube. Brandon says, it seems most people in WWE's replies on Twitter want either Riddle or Hardy to win. Doesn't surprise me. Definitely doesn't surprise me. Megan suggests that Stormbreaker would come in handy. Ed jumping on that one as well. Definitely. I can see it. Matt says, odd. I'm not sure as to the nature of it, like if Randy Orton's actually injured or not. Hopefully not. And it's just an attempt to get another match on the show. But it was an entertaining opening. And honestly, I'm happy with this. This has hyped up the show for me a little bit. Matt says, according to PW Insider, Karrion Kross is backstage for more dark matches. How many does he need to do? Like, I'm getting concerned now. How many does he need to do? Rami says, who is your favorite superhero? I'm leaning towards Spider-Man, to be honest. There's a number that I like, but none of them have ever really connected with me all that much. Apart from Baymax. Riddle said he missed his flight, but that's kayfabe. True. Hopefully that's the nature of it. Matt Riddle is still in the match. Damian Priest is still in the match. Jinder Mahal is still in the match. Lots of options. Correct. You get me, Xander. You get me. Matt says maybe they realize splitting Cross from Scarlett is a terrible idea. I do actually have a YouTube video on that. So if there is anyone here who is not already subscribed to my YouTube, let me post a link for you. Let me give you a link to it. Just like that. We do daily wrestling news and features. Not all of it is pulled from Spoiler Warning. A lot of good stuff there if anyone wants to pop over and say hi. Squared Table, would you mind not giving us updates? Because I'm a little bit behind you. So you're essentially giving me spoilers for the match. I know that's not your intention, but if you wouldn't mind not giving me the full information, that'd be great. Ed suggests Doctor Strange, also a good call. Very British. Surprised you said that. Megan is just hyped up for Baymax. Jinder versus Priest could at least be something to get them going. I mean, Jinder Mahal is a draw. He's a licensed draw, so it would certainly work for Priest. Who do I think is going to win? Matt Riddle. I very much think Matt Riddle is going to win. Matt says Batman's my favorite superhero because he doesn't give a fuck. That's definitely not true of Batman. Don't know what you're on about that. Thank you, Square Table. I appreciate you jumping in and helping out and the like. It's just Jeff Hardy's gone. It's just unfortunately one of those where the timings on these streams can be a little bit difficult. So unfortunately, you're going to have to ask you to leave that one. Chelsea suggests Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck was in a Guardians of the Galaxy film. He was in the scene with Molly Quinn. And I know that because I know Molly Quinn very well. Newbie's rocking out the Leviathan axe, which is from God of War 2018. And Brandon says Spider-Man, but Batman is a close second. To be fair, I really enjoyed the Wonder Woman film, the first one. That was a lot of fun. There's a lot of good stuff for the Avengers. I've enjoyed the Guardians of the Galaxy films most. But I don't know. I'm enjoying Loki at the moment. Still haven't watched the third episode. Need to do that. Our final two are Riddle and Damian Priest. Matt Riddle very nearly gone there. Chelsea also saying Howard the Duck was in Endgame. Yeah, he came through the portals, didn't he, right at the end? Matt celebrating the idea of Riddle versus Priest. See, Raw's starting well. Like, this is a very good start. I like that they've gone to a mini match here. Jay Quick says, are we assuming COVID or injury for Orton? Personally, I'm assuming kayfabe. Personally, I'm just assuming kayfabe. Chelsea, please tell me you did not just spoil the third episode for me. Please tell me you did not just post a spoiler in my chat. That would be mean. Jinder was eliminated. He didn't necessarily disappear. He was just on the wrong side of the ring when he went down, which is why it seemed that way. And Megan says, Big Hero 6 is seriously underrated. As for the superhero, since I can't hype my boys, I'm going for Jean Grey. She's been my fave for a long time. That's a good call. That's a good call. I never really think X-Men. Like, at the same thing. I probably most enjoyed the Deadpool films, but we can't call him a superhero. We absolutely cannot call Deadpool a superhero. But Baymax, my niece and I for years, years, long time. Not a spoiler, just a theory. Gotcha, Chelsea. Gotcha. Matt Riddle is... Oh, he's using a submission, trying to put Damian Priest out. Joint manipulation. Oh, lovely maneuver. Not impossible, Matt. Wouldn't be a bad shout. I'd like it as an idea. I think Riddle's got him there. You're not, Rami. You've barely spoken, mate. You're fine. Don't you worry. I like it when people talk a lot. It helps everything move forward. Can I suggest for superheroes Starlight or Black Mesa without the peanut allergy? Peanut allergy. It's good stuff. If anyone hasn't seen The Boys, it's a lot of fun. Also contains one of the worst attempts at a British accent I've ever heard in my life. He's clearly Australian. Like he's clearly Australian. Riddle with the knee, and that's it. We have our winner. It is Matt Riddle. Megan is excited for Soldier Boy. Matt Riddle has got the win on Randy Orton's behalf. Ultimately, if this is unnecessary, if it's a case of maybe he did miss a... They played Randy Orton's music. I thought he was coming down. If it is a case of Randy Orton just missing the event, this is the right way to do it. This is absolutely the right way to do it. Matt says, not a fan of The Boys. I'm surprised. It really hangs its hat at the beginning. It's like, so you guys, this is a superhero thing. And by the way, there you go. It's magnificent. Chelsea suggesting the best superhero is Homelander. Fuck you. In the best possible way. Andy Moyes here. Welcome, mate. Saying, so guys, speaking of The Boys, has anyone seen Invincible? I have not yet, but it's been recommended to me in this chat. I think people are starting to work me out, as it were. Today, I basically just caught up on Rick and Morty. Just saying Riddle gets Pyro. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Matt is saying he's not a fan of Riddle winning. I think they're just trying to maintain course. I think that's why Riddle wins. He's just maintaining course. So I've heard, mate. So I've heard. I'm looking forward to giving it a shot. Remy says everyone subscribe. I'm not going to complain at that, but you definitely should. Chelsea agrees, saying Invincible is brilliant, so underrated, no one knows about it. Well, I'll definitely have to check this out. Sounds fun to me. J-Dub is hyped up at Riddle winning. And Matt says, if Riddle wins later, there's a spot open. Actually, no. If Riddle wins later, Randy Orton gets the spot. He's representing Randy Orton's interests here. And this is what I mean by I think they're just trying to maintain course. If Riddle wins a triple threat later on tonight, then Randy Orton will still be in the Money in the Bank. And this is why I think he's being used in this way, because I think Randy Orton was supposed to be in Money in the Bank. Megan says, I need to watch Invincible, but I keep getting distracted. There's a lot of good TV out there, and that's really an issue at the moment. Who says, anticlimactic, Riddle pulling double duty. It might just be the easy way to maintain course. We are currently seeing a hype package of Alexa Bliss doing some screaming. They are establishing the new Alexa Bliss character, essentially post-Fiend Bliss. Brandon says, what if Riddle wins and Orton can't make it to Money in the Bank either? Well, I guess it'll only be free from Raw. Wait, what? In what way, Chelsea? What's your source for that one? That says give it to someone else if Orton can't make the show tonight. But he can still make Money in the Bank. So why give it to someone else where they can just give it to him and continue telling the story of RK Bro in the meantime? There's no issue there. I don't see anything wrong with it. Megan, tell me more. Tell me more. I still don't know anyone who's watched the Netflix season of Dark Crystal, by the way. I haven't seen anyone who's watched the Netflix version of Dark Crystal. And I don't like that. Dark Crystal is a film that I've watched more than 1,000 times. I shit you not. More than 1,000 times. I used to watch it every single day after I got home from primary school. Way back when. Not helping your case there, unfortunately, mate. Not helping your case. I don't see it, and I don't think I would trust the source. And it's worth pointing out that WrestleTalk will report pretty much anything that someone else reports. What's going on with Shayna? It is Shayna Baszler versus Nikki Cross. Kind of expected this one in the preview earlier. I don't personally think anyone's getting punished, guys. Vince doesn't give a fuck about Jericho at the moment. Okay. Okay, few I know there. Who's Zazie Beetz? Ugh, Alexa Bliss hovering in the background. She'll be doing that with a briefcase soon. Mark Hamill, also in the Dark Crystal series, by the way. I agree, Chelsea. I agree. Just to be clear, fuck Jackson Riker. I think we can all agree there. They're not going to make me give a fuck about this guy. As soon as crowds are back, the WWE will realize that that is a pointless endeavor. Absolutely pointless. As I watched Dark Crystal series before I ever saw the movie, it was a perfect way to watch it. Yeah, it goes together really well there because it connects the dots quite nicely. I mean, I've heard something about that, Brandon. Not sure personally. Could be. Could be. I mean, you say that guy with a lightsaber. What is that? I mean, that must be something really obscure. I've never heard of it. What do I think about Alexa Bliss right now? For me, this particular incarnation has really jumped the shark, and I'm not a fan. Overall, I'm an Alexa Bliss fan. I think she's one of the best speakers in the entire company. one of the best speakers. She knows how to talk. She knows how to really draw attention to herself in a positive way. I think this character's gone too far, but if they can rein it in a little bit, they'll have something very good on their hands. I don't know. It's one of those. Jackson Riker is like if Wish did Batista. Yeah, you order Batista, you get Jackson Riker. Brad says, I'm sure it was from Star Trek. I have a t-shirt. Which is the ultimate sci-fi troll. Hey, look, it's R2-D2. Dalek. I loved him in Star Trek. Just love it. When Becky comes back, I don't know if she's going to want to do the spooky shit. She don't get a choice, mate. Her storylines are written for her. That's the thing that a lot of people seem to forget. She still has her storylines written for her. She still has to play along with what she has to play along with. If she has to pretend she's afraid of Alexa Bliss, she'll pretend that she's afraid of Alexa Bliss. We are in a second commercial break. First half hour done, first match out of the way, and Nikki Cross versus Shayna Baszler next. Shayna Baszler definitely has no chance of winning because it's Shayna Baszler, and she never actually wins anything. As regards my t-shirt, Brandon's just celebrating the fact. And Megan saying, if I ever actually see that shirt anywhere, I may have to set fire to it. Can you please make sure I'm not wearing it when you do? Can you please do that? Like, if we ever have a meetup and you immediately run up and pull my shirt off, I'll at least know it's because you hate the shirt. You know? Jacob says, hey, sorry if you answered this or don't want to answer this. I'm still working a bit, so only half paying attention any word from the job interview yet. Nothing back from the job interview that I undertook yesterday, but I do have a job offer for a 3-month job that starts July 12th, pending references. So it's one of those. That's potentially a huge positive. That's 3 months of income, 3 more months of home, as it were, 3 more months of living. And that's 3 more months of building up the Twitch. That is 3 more months building up a Twitch. And to be honest, Twitch has been really good lately. We've had a number of generous people join. We've had quite a number of... we've had 2 hype trains, which have been easily the best days we've had in the Twitch so far. Things are really positive right now. It's very rare that I go a day without making at least something. So 3 more months of this, we're getting closer to a point when I can, do this. Closer and closer, bit by bit. Megan says, depends what mood I'm in. Fair enough. I get that. Bailey saying, congratulations on the offer. Thank you, Bailey. I appreciate that. What's a t-shirt? Yeah, it's a t-shirt that says, hey, look, it's R2-D2. It has a picture of a Dalek and then finishes up by saying, I loved him in Star Trek. It's just funny, isn't it? Thank you very much, J-Dub, for the 10 bits. Thank you very much for that one. All says, oh, wow, that's good news. It is good news, isn't it? Yeah. And once I'm in work, hopefully I'll continue looking. And if I hear something positive back from the job that I applied for on Sunday, I'll go there. Pardon me. But the 3-month role I've been offered is a work from home one as well, which is fantastic. It means I can still do all my streams. Rami says, would you like to see The Undertaker return? Absolutely not. I think he should have retired a long time ago, but he's still probably going to return. I do wonder sometimes if Omos stood on a box or if he's actually that tall. It's good that AJ Styles is a very small man. He's not a very small man. Omos is definitely going to get in trouble with the Viking Raiders today. Who says Omos has the scariest Raw. It's a bit better than Braun Strowman's. Kevin has prepared a tape. This is confusing. Last week, the Viking Raiders ran out with no provocation. No provocation to attack Omos. which is confusing to me. That's supposed to be the good guys here. Ed just saying he is that tall and AJ is that short. It's really very tall, though. Really very tall. And AJ Styles about 3 inches shorter than I am, which always confuses me. My sister and I are the same height, 5'10". Speaking of Taker, have you seen any of his interviews since retiring? Seems really happy now that he's done with all he put his body through. I only saw the 5-part series that WWE Network produced. I learned more than I would have liked from The Undertaker there. Megan saying AJ's build at being 5'11", Omos's build at 7'3". To my knowledge, AJ Styles is 5'7". Good old build height. Yeah, Matt says until they call Undertaker for Saudi. Unfortunately, I can see that happening. Is what it is. Someone on Twitter goes, Randy, don't show up. Nick Khan has to calm down. They're never getting rid of Randy Orton, surely. Surely, though. Like, surely. He says, I know when I saw AJ to show he wasn't much taller than me, and I'm 5'7". There we go then. I was aware of the one with Joe Rogan, yes. Lucha House Party appeared on TV just to wish Nikki Cross good luck. Nikki Cross is delivering a very similar promo to what she did last week about the butterfly superhero. If it works for her, it works for her. She has been experimenting. But I'd like you to actually start picking up some wins now. At the very least, a non-championship feud or storyline is actually happening for once. It's rare. Chelsea believes Kevin Patrick is the best backstage commentator. Do you think Nikki will get booed? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Matt, what are you talking about? Being caught what? Caught what? I don't understand. Brandon just says, imagine releasing Randy Orton. Don't see it. Don't see it. Got it, Ed. I will do that. Amos was 7'3" when he played college basketball. Played in the same arena currently hosting the Thunderdome. Interesting. Interesting. Ed hypes up Alicia Atut and Quinn McKay. For those who don't know, it is Atut. No idea, Rami. I don't know who that is. Noob says the British like the Vikings. Like I said, they should have brought Leviathan axe in case of fighting a monster. We are where we are. Okay, they branded her almost a superhero. So, arse. AAS. Arse. Interesting that in her render, they've put lipstick on her. If you say so, Matt. I've never seen much evidence of that. I mean, I keep hearing it, but I've never seen any evidence of it. Maybe. I don't know, Matt. When it comes to Killian Dane, they are different people, so who can tell? Ed has done a 60-second hijack for a favorite wrestler. We are going to talk about the release of Randy Orton for 60 seconds. Okay, so they're not going to release Randy Orton. It's simply not going to happen. He's one of their most valuable commodities. And when you talk about human resources, he's one who delivers in every possible way. And he's on the run of his life. He's working to develop people. He's giving back. But even just in name value, he's absolutely unapproachable. Nobody comes close to delivering what Randy Orton delivers. Now, admittedly, he's also on one of the highest contracts in company history for only 200 dates. So once we go back to live shows and 6 shows a week, they will not be using him as much and they'll be paying him more. However, Randy Orton's one of those. You cannot take the risk. You really can't. He's just simply too talented to ever let go, and they ain't going to start now. I'm going to say arse anyway. Did Dane get released? Yes, he did in the batch of releases on Friday. Also got eye paint on him, but doesn't have it this week. I didn't see that. Maybe just because of the mask I wasn't focused on. But yeah, if they've done that, they've glammed her up a bit for no reason. Chelsea's redeemed, or what does The Rock say? If Riddle challenged The Rock to a WrestleMania match, you know, The Rock wants to get back to WrestleMania. He wants to get back to kicking candy ass all over the God's green earth. He wants to take on the best. He wants to take on tribal chiefs. He wants to take on vipers. Who the hell is Matt Riddle? You think he wants to tangle with a guy who rides a scooter down to the ring, doesn't take any of this seriously? Bring it. You think he wants to tangle with a guy who's so spaced out he doesn't even know which way is forward and which way is back? Bring it. You want a match with The Rock at WrestleMania? You earn your place. The Rock's going straight to the championship, and you're going straight in the dirt. So saith The Rock. Remy says, do you think John Cena will be at SummerSlam? Yes, I do. I suspect that's very, very likely. Megan says, also think with Orton that he's been around for a long time, probably knows too much at this point for WWE to risk letting him go. That's actually a really fair point. A really fair point there. Why is Nikki Cross just doing a little jiggle in the middle of the ring? You said last week, wasn't a superhero, she can't fly, have powers. That's so much different than what she said this week. Yeah, they've evolved the story. Is what it is. Riddle got violated, and so he should. So he should. You don't challenge The Rock. Right. Second match of the night. Nikki Cross and Shayna Baszler. We started well. They've got to deliver here, because if they slow down or don't give the match enough time, then people will start to tune out. I would imagine, logically, we should have Charlotte Flair up next. She's been the second hour draw segment for a long time. Matt, nobody is telling you have to like it. Literally nobody has said that. Doesn't change the fact that it's Nikki's idea. As a fan, you have a right to like it or not like it. I'm the same. What does someone like Cena get paid for an event like SummerSlam, given that he's not a contracted employee, or is he? He's not a contracted employee at this moment. My BT Sport with him just crashed, so you'll bear with me while I'm fixing that. Yeah, he doesn't get... He's technically on a Legends contract, but Legends contract aren't technically a real thing. It's more on a loyalty basis. It's a confusing thing. It's kind of difficult to explain. But he doesn't get paid a set rate. He gets paid a pre-agreed rate that they will be discussing as we speak. Literally right now, they'll be discussing his actual rate. it'll be a case of agreeing it beforehand, and it'll be for a run of matches. So it'll be a case of, okay, I will wrestle this many matches over the course of this many years for this much money per year. And it'll be like that. Matt says, let me get this straight. Didn't Sonya say Liv has to prove to officials if she beats Carmella, she might be added to the match? She did say that, yes. Devon's here. Welcome, Devon. Saying, wouldn't it be crazy if after Matt Riddle eliminated Damian Priest, someone from behind from over the top rope took their mask off? Oh my God, it's CM Punk. No, that wouldn't be crazy. That'd be stupid. That'd be very stupid. Wouldn't like that. Because CM Punk has no interest in wrestling. Did anyone watch France versus Switzerland? I've seen the highlights. I didn't watch it live, but I've watched the highlights. And Megan says, I can see Nikki's thing going over well with kids. It's not for me, and that's fine. I'm happy that she's on TV and getting matches beyond I want the shiny thing or I want that man. Yeah, this is about her. She's got a storyline that's actually about who she is and about her identity and about how she feels. And that's a very good thing. It's very rare we get a storyline where they can really establish an identity and a personality. And ultimately, she needed it. She's gone through a lot of tweaks herself. In NXT, she was, I'm crazy. And that was her entire personality. It's not good enough. So now we've had at least a few changes, and now she's inspirational. Do I think CM Punk should return? No, because he doesn't want to. What are you talking about? He said he's open to a return. He did say that. He still doesn't want to. CM Punk will return if he's paid so much money for one match that he basically bankrupts the company. He also could return by making one phone call. Literally, if he made one phone call right now, he would be back tomorrow. The reason he doesn't is because he doesn't want to come back. He just wants to keep taking jabs at WWE. That's all he wants. Alexa Bliss is making her entrance. It was a good storyline, featuring a lot more players than just Nikki Cross. That's what made it. Could I ever see AJ Lee returning? No, for similar reasons. Firstly, she doesn't like the company. But more importantly, if AJ Lee ever returned, she'd be wrestling a match and you'd hear CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. She'd be taking on Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Champ. CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. She'd be in the Royal Rumble. She'd be in the CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. Nobody would give a shit about her. Everyone would chant her husband's name. And I don't think she'd want to stay for that reason. Basically, this is the fans are too shit to deserve her situation. Noob says, hope Asuka gets somewhat of a change, maybe an inspiration of her own. Possibly. I think she needs to go to SmackDown for me. Devin says, Alexa Bliss's entrance music kind of gives me the creeps. Well, that's good, because that is the plan. That is the hope. And honestly, that is a good thing. She's supposed to be a creepy little bitch. And I think she's achieving that very, very well. I'm creeped out. Why are they going to add break mid-countdown? WWE, innit? They don't really think ahead that much. If you are currently watching on YouTube, please do remember to click like on the video. That helps my growth and helps people to find the channel, not just via live, but also my videos that I've been uploading regularly every single day. If you've already subscribed to my YouTube, please do remember that you can check out the daily videos. They're uploaded 6 p.m. UK time, that is 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My latest video, predictions for the WWE Draft after WWE SummerSlam 2021, is currently sitting at 89 views in its first 7 hours. So if you'd like to check that out and find out what my predictions are for the WWE Draft, you can watch that video. It is only about 7 minutes long, and you can check it out. And of course, you also have the option of joining the Discord. In the Discord, we essentially all hang out together, and that is where you'll hear stream news first. So you can join the family over at Discord and hang out with all of us. Who's that? Okay. Noob says Nikki Cross is a superhero and Alexa Bliss is now the sidekick. Not true. We know that we know that Nikki Cross is almost a superhero. She is arse. AAS, almost a superhero. Arse. Alexa Bliss is definitely not a sidekick. Rami says, do you think Vince should give WWE to Triple H? I don't. I think he should give WWE to Shane McMahon. I think Triple H is very happy where he is, and I don't think Triple H would be able to book in the main roster. I think he's very happy booking for hardcore wrestling fans. If he went to cover the main roster, I think the viewership would tank even worse than actually it has been doing. Because Vince at least knows how to draw in casual viewers. I think that's something that Triple H struggles with. Someone 7 says, is the draft actually happening? It is happening. It has been confirmed, and I've been able to confirm it independently myself. So I'm definitely saying I'm definitely saying the draft is happening because it's been said to me by multiple people as well as other people who've reported it ahead of time. Gotcha, Matt. What would be best for you? A lovely big crossbody off the top from Nikki Cross. A good catch. The almost a superhero thing is reminding me of the artist Shinsuke Nakamura. That's not a big positive. Megan says, I'd take Triple H and his guys running things rather than Steph on her own. It's definitely not going to be Stephanie McMahon running the company. Definitely not. I think Bailey's hitting the nail on the head nicely here. I think that's why Nick Khan is important for WWE. If Vince isn't there one day, the investors won't tank the stock. Yeah, Nick Khan is there for investor confidence. And this is why a lot of these moves have been done. It's not just about the cost saving, as I've said. It's about saying, look, we've got control of this. No matter what happens, we're in control here. Because Vince McMahon is not that involved anymore. He's actually featuring a hell of a lot less in the creative meetings, in the planning. He's not featured as heavily as usual. He's going home a lot more. I'm Lizzie07. Welcome. Says Triple H is the best for business if we talk about the creative control. I disagree. I think he's doing a great thing in NXT, but he's basing NXT around hardcore fans. NXT is not getting casual audiences. It isn't. It's really struggling to gain a casual audience. Meanwhile, at the same time, Raw, SmackDown, they are built entirely around that casual audience. So if they don't have it, then we'll end up with Raw and SmackDown with viewership of 400, 500,000 because that's what Triple H knows to book for. Alexa Bliss has took down Nia Jax and Reginald on the outside. She's still distracting Shayna. Nikki with a roll-up. Looked like that was going to be it. That's a brutal clothesline. Also, welcome, Lizzie. I don't believe I've seen your name before, but welcome. Not true, Matt. That is simply not true. Raw and SmackDown still have a primarily casual audience. Their audience is not primarily hardcore wrestling fans. That is true of NXT. That's true of AEW. Not the case this time. That is a lovely pin by Nikki Cross. I'm glad it wasn't a distraction and a roll-up. I'm glad it was a conclusive victory there. Thank you very much for the follow. I'm Lizzie07. Welcome to the show. You'll get a notification every time we go live. We do Raw and SmackDown watch parties on Mondays and Fridays. We also do spoiler warning at 10 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. EST. That's about wrestling news, also Mondays and Fridays. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do some gaming content as well. You'll get a notification every time that I go live, letting you know what we're doing. If you're only here for wrestling, Mondays and Fridays, they're the days to check it out. It was a very well-practiced low blow on Reginald there. Very well practiced. I'm a little bit terrified. Nikki Cross is still celebrating. They all took a bit of a beating there. They all had a time of it. Sounds like we're about to get a recap of Hell in a Cell. He says, thank you, sending you hugs from Mexico. Oh, thank you very much. I actually know quite a few people in Mexico in the Morelia area. I don't know Morelia in relation to Guadalajara, but I know they're in the Morelia area. Them and their family. And at some point, I really do want to go and visit because it sounds fucking lovely. So hopefully I'll get over to your neck of the woods someday. But from what I can tell, Mexico's a really big place, so I just want to go exploring a really hot country. Be great fun. Remy says, what is your favorite era, attitude, or what? Attitude era, looking back, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. I think it's difficult because there's been some really good times. I very much enjoyed 2016, for example, when we got SmackDown Live. Raw wasn't great, but we had Ambrose and AJ Styles as a champion. We had Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton working together for the first time. That was such a good story. And so on and so forth. That was a great time for me. Luke Harper was getting pushed. Wonderful times. Wonderful. It's starting to look like our second hour draw segment is going to be Kofi Kingston and MVP. I'd imagine Bobby Lashley is going to get involved somehow. I mean, surely Bobby Lashley is going to get involved somehow. Credit goes to Bobby Lashley, though. 2 Hell in a Cell matches in a row, one night after the other. What do you think about the Ruthless Aggression era? I actually wasn't watching for much of the Ruthless Aggression era. I took a break in 2001 and eventually came back in 2014. So it's a pretty sizable break. From what I've gone back and watched, I enjoyed some of it. I enjoyed the rise of Cena, the rise of Batista, the rise of Edge and the like. But there were other elements. For example, Kane and Shane McMahon feud. Wasn't there? I think that was then. Wasn't a big fan of that. It says, "Oh God, hope they don't have Alexa give Nikki powers." Yeah, they no reason for that. Can't see any reason they would do that. You seem to be always afraid that the absolute worst thing imaginable is going to happen. It doesn't always. Admittedly, WWE don't have the best record, but they also don't have the worst. With 5 minutes left until the draw segment, Kofi Kingston is making his entrance. So it's Kofi and MVP and probably Bobby Lashley who will be covering our draw segment for the second hour. Has held 22 championships in WWE. They just said the first African-born WWE champion. Isn't he from Ohio? Maybe wrong there and have to look this up. Surely they wouldn't have said that if he wasn't born in Africa. I've noticed that, Matt. I get it. Rama says, my favorite WWE champion. Right now, it's definitely Roman. I've been a Roman fan for a long time, though. Looking back, I've always been a big Triple H fan, though. A big Triple H fan. Thank you, Megan. So Kofi was born in Ghana. Okay. Gotcha. It's always good to get stats brought in. Thank you. Yeah, I've always been a Triple H fan. I don't know why. I think because he was so magnificently detestable. I think it's just one of those. I love a bad guy. I'm always there for the bad guys. They're just more exciting. You know? They're just much more exciting. I'm not sure, Matt. Not sure. So we're going to get a face-to-face. Now, I don't really know what that's going to entail. To me, it sounds like a contract signing without a contract signing. But they always do this. It's like, these two are going to come face-to-face. Yeah, they did last week as well. They will next week. They will during the match. We get it. Bailey says Triple H has never really been a face. Not since his early DX days. The incarnation of DX with X-Pac, the New Age Outlaws in China, he was a face for that. But when he joined the corporation and then later the corporate ministry, that was it. And I don't think he's really been a face since, to be completely honest. There were some moments when he got cheered. But I think he's always been at least firmly in the heel camp. I can't really imagine Triple H as a good guy. Like, I've met and interviewed the man. And he still comes across kind of heelish. I wasn't watching at that part, Matt. He never stayed a face very long. Even in the rare moments when he was. Fans were starting to cheer for him. And it looked like they were going face turn before he announced, yeah, I'm the reason you got run down. Grr. And so on. We are 1 hour through a WWE Raw with a 2 extra hours to go. Raw last week did fly. It started well, this Raw, but it has slowed down a little bit. Hopefully this face-to-face will bring it back, but ultimately it's a face-to-face. I don't see it happening. We have a recap of the opening Battle Royal. I'd imagine this is what passes for main event hype at this point. It's just nice to see Damian Priest wrestle again. If you're not sure why Damian Priest hasn't been wrestling for a while, all the information is available on my YouTube. Riddle was freaked out by Randy Orton's pyro. He's definitely been very entertaining in this role, Matt Riddle. Definitely been very entertaining. They updated the graphic. Riddle versus McIntyre versus AJ Styles. Now, earlier on today, we did discuss who I think is going to be winning the Money in the Bank briefcases. Alexa Bliss and Matt Riddle. Alexa Bliss and Matt Riddle. Kofi's wearing a New Day shirt featuring Big E, which is good because, you know, Big E is still a member of the New Day. But he's really showing his allegiance. Since they were broken up, the amount of times that Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston have mentioned Big E, it's incredible. Bailey says, speaking of faces, what man and what woman is going to get the next big face turn? Hopefully Rhea Ripley gets a face turn, like a proper one, because they're just wasting time at this point, screwing it around. I think Sonya Deville gets the next big face turn, personally. I could see it. And then I think the fans might be turning Bobby Lashley face. Rami asks, what do I think about Drew right now? I think he needs to drop out of the main event scene, consolidate a little bit, and maybe move over to SmackDown and slow build towards Roman. Slow build. I think he needs a change. He's a very talented man, but he needs a change. Kofi Kingston is actually on his own. It's been ages since I've seen Kofi on his own. Even during all of Kofi Mania, he's very rarely on his own. That's true, Matt, but that's what I think about Drew right now, and that's what I think. I think he needs to drop out of the title picture. I suspect that's what the last couple of weeks has been all about. Last chance. Okay, last chance. Seriously, last chance. Just get out of it. And then he wonders, well, why am I going to stay on Raw? I think it makes sense. Kofi really putting over Xavier Woods here, which is good because Xavier Woods is one of the most valuable people in the company, like the whole company. Kofi is second outdraw segment solo. He's swearing revenge. I always like that MVP sung his own theme tune. I respect that. And his theme is basically, yeah, you know, everyone in the world, ball in. That's basically the whole theme. He's like Bobby Lashley with no company backstage. Literally none. He's taken all the company. This seems like a distraction. It seems like we're about to get a Bobby Lashley running in the ring from behind and locking in the hurt lock. MVP's getting a lot of attention on himself. Jermaine Presley's here. Welcome, Jermaine. Says, hi, Tom. I think Drew McIntyre gets moved to SmackDown and ends up beating Roman Reigns for the Universal title eventually in the end of the year. That's basically where I see the story going as well. I think it makes the most sense. Drew's record against Roman is not a strong one. He's lost a lot of matches against Roman. It'd be a good way to get a bit of revenge. I says, honest question, where would Lashley be without MVP? I think it'd still be the champion, but I think he wouldn't be a smoother talker. They'd have found someone. They'd have definitely found someone. Kofi mentioning Drew McIntyre there. If this ends up being Drew versus Lashley at SummerSlam, I'm just going to be so disappointed. They could do a lot more with the story than just, oh, I've never beat you. They could do a bit more than that. Kofi's talking about stripping Bobby down. We'll find out tonight, Matt. But it's okay. I'll remember that you've told me. No such thing as an overpriced suit. There is only a correctly priced suit. It's a very good promo from Kofi. It's very true. Kofi was very much a fighting champion. Even MVP's backup are getting swayed by this. You can literally see them getting swayed. Someone 7 asks a very good question. Who should Bobby face at SummerSlam if Brock won't be there? Honestly, I'd probably keep going with Kofi. I would keep going with Kofi so that we could then move Big E over afterwards and then continue basically a New Day feud. I'd probably stick with Kofi. I don't want another Drew match. So Kofi Kingston is very much without backup. That's nice. We have a hijack for favorite wrestler, and guess what? It's about Asuka. I think you all know who it came from, so let's spend 60 seconds talking about Asuka. Asuka desperately needs a change. She has been lent on heavily. She has not been properly booked. She has not been properly pushed. She's given it everything she can. Everything she can to try and make it convincing, to try and make it important, to try and really hype up everything she does. You know, hasn't given her that backing? The WWE. It really doesn't matter what she's booked to do right now. She needs to step away for a moment. She needs a change. Maybe SmackDown can give her that opportunity. Maybe she only gets the opportunities when Becky Lynch is there. Because I'll tell you, the last 2 years of opportunities for Asuka are all down to Becky Lynch. All of them. So Kofi and MVP came to blows eventually. It looks like Bobby Lashley actually isn't there. Kofi gets a stand tall moment, but it's not a good stand tall moment. So no Xavier Woods, no Bobby Lashley, no Randy Orton. A lot of people missing. A lot of people missing. They just called her Dewdrop. I don't like it. She's clearly going to say Piper. This is not a recap I want. Eva Marie's return is already starting to sour on me. My enthusiasm did not last. Hopefully she sorted her gear. Well, Piper's still with Eva Marie. Yay. Piper literally doesn't give a fuck, but she's still somehow behind her. We have a rematch. Yay. Well, at least gets Asuka on TV. That says I was all for the idea of having Piper Niven and Eva being in Money in the Bank. Piper do all the work and that's how Eva won. I wasn't, personally. I'm glad they didn't go that way. I'm very glad they didn't go that way. I don't see any reason to have Eva Marie win the Money in the Bank. It's way too early. Eva Marie's return is meh. Hopefully Piper Niven bails on her again. I can see it. Megan says, I knew the Doudrop thing was more permanent when they changed it in Supercard. They changed it in Supercard? We're actually stuck with this, aren't we? So we have this match. We have a 6-woman tag team match. We have a strap match. And we have at least one more for the triple threat. Megan saying, I can't wait for the My Name is Piper moment. It might end up being a long time coming, but yeah, I want it. Ed, you're slipping? You're slipping? James says, why did she keep looking at her stomach and saying, poor thing? Piper would kick her ass and out-wrestle her to point of embarrassment. Didn't see that, J-Dub, personally. Didn't see that. I think it's just supposed to be, looking her over and saying, poor thing. There's not much talent there. I think that's what she's supposed to be doing. I wouldn't necessarily say it's related to that particular area. If you guys will forgive me, I'm going to take a moment to pop to the bathroom and refresh my drink. Not at the same time, just so everybody's aware of that. I'll be back in just a moment. Please don't go anywhere. I'm going to stick my branding up. And we'll see you in just a moment. Hello again, all. Welcome back. We are still watching WWE Raw. There's still quite a lot of it. To fly through. Right. So earlier took them less time to change it than it did to change Dabba-Kato Babatunde to Commander Aziz. Oh, they did fly, didn't they? Jermaine says, hey, Tom, can see Asuka moving over to SmackDown and being in a tag team with Io. Just have a feeling that's what Vince might do with the two of them and have them form the Kabuki Boys 2.0. It's not impossible. It's one of those. It's a Vince McMahon fallback, isn't it? When all else fails, just pair people up with similar nationalities. Disappointing, but it is what they do. Megan says there's still Dabba-Kato cards and separate Aziz cards. Yeah, Piper's gone. Just Dewdrop. Interesting. It definitely shouldn't say spoiler warning. I've changed the title twice. If I look at my information, yeah, on mine it says Monday Night Raw, 28th of June, 2021. So I'm not sure what's happening there. It's got a new follower on Twitter. Okay. But yeah, I think if you refresh the stream, that might actually help it. Someone 7 says if Brock versus Bobby happens, who should win? That depends entirely on what's happening when the match happens. Like, because of the kayfabe world that wrestling exists in, we cannot sit here and say, oh, Bobby Lashley would always lose to Brock Lesnar. It all depends on the storyline. At the moment, if it was happening at SummerSlam, I'd want Bobby Lashley to win. That might be why the match won't happen, because I think Brock would rather win the match himself. We have an Asuka Naomi tag team continuing. Naomi basically went straight from Lana to Asuka. Still in the tag division. To be fair, Lana was also a tag team partner of Asuka. And she then swapped to Charlotte. So a lot of interchanging. Okay, they formally introduced her as Dewdrop. I just don't like it. It sucks. It just sucks. She definitely hasn't fixed her gear. Piper carried Eva's coat, which suggests that she might be a little bit more under the thumb this week. That was funny from Jimmy Smith. I liked that. As you might expect, Piper Niven's in the ring. I will not be referring to her as anything other than Piper. Just as a rule, I'm not going to do it. You can go to hell. Megan says, I really hope that there is some kind of rave during Naomi's first entrance to a crowd. I hope so as well. Bailey asked, why has Naomi never got a real creative push over the last 3 years? WWE management don't believe she can cut a promo. Basically. They just, WWE management, the creative team, have been told she can't cut a promo. Be careful what you write for her. That's the only information I've had on it. And that's one of the reasons that people forget about her. Asuka is now in with Piper. And Piper's shown herself to be more than capable of dealing with Asuka. Asuka's is not a big deal anymore, is she? She's just another body. Very disappointing. As promos go, I don't think Naomi's fantastic in any way, shape, or form personally either, no. Most of the promos she's cut are very similar, hitting the beat of, I'm going to beat you, and then you'll feel the Glow. It's not great. She's very good in ring, but she doesn't really deliver outside of it, is what the WWE believe. Eva Marie refusing to tag in. Again, they go for the distraction roll-up. Doesn't happen. I think Asuka's about to get pinned. Don't want it, but it seems likely. Asuka's been pinned within a couple of minutes. It's a strong push for Piper. She's landed in a very good position for her. She's got someone talking for her with a lot of experience. And people are putting her over. I know I'm supposed to hate her, but I hate her. Matt, the reason this couldn't be the result last week is because these two are not supposed to be in Money in the Bank. Oh. Megan, our stat queen, says, fun fact, Naomi and Piper both debuted in 2009. Right. I know Piper had been wrestling for a long time. Didn't realize it had been that long. So they're still arguing. This is going to be one of those stories that they forget. They're eventually just going to forget it's happening. Still, once again, it's a story that doesn't involve... It's a story that doesn't involve a championship. So it's they're not fighting over a man. They're not fighting over a shiny thing. Piper's getting a push. I'm going to take it. We have a recap of Randy Orton losing to John Morrison. Via dripstick. They actually patented dripstick. Got two of them now. Right, you are, noob. She didn't just beat Asuka. She beat Asuka and Naomi solo. Moderately easily. Ugh. It's a fair point. The Miz has 2 championship reigns. Both of them came from Money in the Bank cash-ins. Someone says Miz comes down last minute and the ladder match takes Morrison's place and wins. Don't see any reason why they would do that. Morrison can do the job even better than the Miz in my eyes. Even better. Megan says first match you can find for Piper is November 2009. So Matt, can you let us know where your correction comes from? Well, we're definitely getting some sort of Ricochet versus Morrison match. Ed asks, is Starship Pain one of the worst finishes in WWE right now? I don't mind it. I mind that he kind of misses it quite a lot, but it is what it is. Your source is Wikipedia. I'm going to go with Megan on this one. Megan said, just noticed you had to change your Twitter to Doudrop as well. They don't really give people a fighting chance, do they? They really don't. That's where I go for my win-loss record, so Yeah. Cage match are very reliable when it comes to that. Just being able to keep those dates is incredible. Jermaine suggests that we might that he would enjoy seeing Piper versus Rhea Ripley or Charlotte Flair. I wouldn't take it too high too quickly, personally. I'd give her a little bit of time first to work her way up, but I think it shouldn't take too long for her to get there. But it says fans in the arena need to annoy WWE and keep chanting for Piper. That'd be great. That would be fantastic. But unfortunately, I think a lot of fans in the arena are going to have no idea who she is. They're just going to have no idea who she is. She's a big deal over here in the UK. She's not over in the US. She just isn't. So next up, we will have Ricochet versus John Morrison. Ricochet's got a bit of a renewed push. He was feuding with Sheamus. Sheamus now unavailable, so that's gone to the side. But Ricochet is someone who can really deliver in a Money in the Bank. He can really deliver in a Money in the Bank situation. So they need to develop the people that they have, especially with so many people being released recently. They've been throwing a lot at the wall. Some things are starting to work. I think this version of Ricochet, the slightly more edgy one in the jeans with a bit of an attitude, that works for me. That's what I want. No, Matt, he's in Money in the Bank for the high spots and personal development. And Megan says, depends on how thirsty the front rows are when it comes to Eva, probably. Yeah, that's annoyingly fair. More likely to be more like Graves and not care about Piper. Ed completely agrees with everything you said there. Jermaine says, hey, Tom, could we dare get Piper Niven versus Nia Jax? I think that's a definite possibility. And I think that's going to be a rite of passage for Piper. She will hit the Nia Jax roadblock, the immovable object, the unstoppable. Is it unstoppable force? The immovable. The something force. She'll eventually run into Nia Jax and Nia Jax will bounce her back, as it were. I can see that happening. This, again, is one of the reasons that Nia Jax is so well protected. If that's going to happen, it should happen soon, though. In the build to SummerSlam, ideally, because I do think we're going to get Bianca Belair versus Nia Jax sooner rather than later. Irresistible force. Thank you, Ed. Thank you very much, Ed. Megan saying, Piper and Nikki as a team, Scottish supremacy, I deserve this. You do deserve this, Megan. You do deserve this. And as such, there is no chance WWE is going to give it to you. No chance. There is genuinely enough Scottish wrestlers in WWE at the moment, particularly on Raw, to have your own little faction. I would very much enjoy it if in the middle of a match, a tag team match, when Doudrop is doing all the wrestling for Eva Marie, Drew McIntyre and Nikki Cross just come down to the ring, look at her and say, no, this is wrong. And they just all wander off and make a Scottish force. I'd enjoy that. No reason not to. Could be fun. As we are now halfway through Raw, I would just like to do my usual shout-outs. If you are watching on YouTube, please do remember to click like on the video. That's a big help to me and my individual growth and really could help me land a couple of extra subscribers. Every one helps. We are trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. And once we reach that 1,000, we then just need the 4,000 watch hours business, which is a lot. It's a big ask. It's definitely a big ask. But views are going up every single week. Every single week, our views go up. We gain in subscribers. Things are going very, very well there. If you're watching on Twitch for the first time, or if you are a regular lurker but haven't followed yet, please do click that follow button. It's a little love heart right beneath the stream. If you're watching on your phone, just turn it portrait and it will pop up just underneath. If you click follow, you will get a notification every time I go live with wrestling news, with these watch-alongs, and with the gaming streams that we do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Megan says, now you said that, I want it, and I'm sad I won't get it. Morrison is surfing the wheelchair down to the ring. I enjoyed that. Matt says, for some reason, I think we're getting Bailey and Bianca again at Money in the Bank, so I could see Sasha getting the Money in the Bank and winning it. Yeah, we are getting Bailey and Bianca again, and no, I don't think Sasha Banks is going to be in Money in the Bank. She's going to walk in at SummerSlam and get a championship match that way. That's what I'm seeing. We get to see some extra drip sticking. The Miz is still wet, and I respect that. It shows how alive we are that The Miz is still a wet man. He's moist in the gills. We're going to see several incarnations of this match, by which I mean a Money in the Bank competitor wrestling. I do suspect, and I did mention this in the preview, that we were going to have a triple threat match between Ricochet, Morrison, and Riddle. This is looking good. But obviously Riddle is now doing double duty elsewhere. So instead we get a one-on-one match, and you know what? I'm fine with it. This is a good way to build and hype up Money in the Bank. This is a good way of doing it. Ultimately, the whole point is that we're supposed to be excited to see these men wrestle when ladders are involved. So let's see them wrestle so that we can get excited for what we might possibly see when ladders are involved. There's some real athleticism on show here. After all, this is a Lucha Underground Invitational. Who will win? Johnny Mundo? Prince Puma? These two know each other extremely well. They should be able to deliver very good matches. Stick a ladder in between them, even better. Even better. The Miz is on commentary, there to give tips and hints as to what you might see at Money in the Bank, because he is, after all, very experienced at it. Not as experienced as CM Punk, but still very experienced. The Miz nearly just ran over Johnny's head. It actually was, Ed. It actually was. This was the main event of the very first episode of Lucha Underground. Only real difference was Johnny was a Mundo and Ricochet was wearing a mask. Oh. The Miz lost a dripstick and he needed it for a prop. I don't think I've ever seen anyone as wet as The Miz is right now. Hopefully they can give me more Lucha Underground flashbacks, because to be honest, at the minute, it's just a WWE match. These two are genuine flyers, you know? They can give us a little bit more. At least I hope they can. Someone 7 says, do you think there will be any surprises for the first fan show back? I do. I know that Edge and Sasha Banks were supposed to be the surprises, as it were. There is talk of The Fiend returning around there. The fact that Edge has been used ahead of time is quite telling. Who've they got to replace Edge is a big surprise. Have to wait and see. I suspect we're going to, at the very least, see Vince McMahon. I suspect we'll definitely see Vince. Jermaine says, way to go, Tom. Now you make me want to see Piper Niven, Nikki Cross, and Drew McIntyre on SmackDown as a unit. It'd be a hell of a unit. In fact, they could probably just call it hell of a unit. I'd go for that. John Big Rick to interrupt this match then, Tom. Dario Cueto is now an MLW as an on-screen GM type of person. He was Lucha Underground. There was so much good in Lucha Underground. So much good. It was just so magnificently ridiculous. I was all for it. Welcome, Corey. Welcome to the show. Randy Orton apparently just didn't make the show. He's just not there. And he's not the only one. Quite a few people missing from the show this week. But they've managed to work out a way to represent Randy Orton's interests, with Matt Riddle fighting for his bro. Bear with me 1 sec. Oh, pardon me. Sorry, guys, it's a bit late. I was up early today because of job hunting. I'll be up early tomorrow. I'll go to bed at 4. Well, about 4:30 I'll go to bed, actually. I need to wind down. And then before you know it, I'll be up again for 9 for a meeting about the job and the backup job that I've got lined up. So I've been offered one job and I'm applying for a backup job. And then I've got the job that I applied for on Sunday. So a lot going on there. A lot of meetings. Like it says, almost seems like a test in reactions to shows not always having the big stars in a weird way. Possibly, but at the same time, you've still got Styles, you've still got McIntyre, and I think McIntyre is considered the big star. It could be that. It very much could be that. It very much could be that Randy Orton and Bobby Lashley are both going to be going to SmackDown. Genuinely might be the case. We have a new 24/7 championship winner. Corey MLB has claimed the 24/7 championship, and just like that, gets his VIP. And just like I always like to say, a VIP for Corey MLB. Congratulations, mate. Matt has asked for my thoughts on Samoa Joe being a talent scout for both NXT and WWE. I like it. I did cover this in Spoiler 1 a little bit earlier. That video will be up on Wednesday for you guys to check out on YouTube. But it's one of those. I think this lightens the load from William Regal. I think we're likely to see William Regal heading down to NXT UK, at least for a little bit, to lighten the load there, share the wealth. And the WWE are struggling right now to find the talent that they're looking for. They've had a number of tryouts, and they're apparently just not very impressed. Corey has already been rolled up. He has lost his VIP and lost his 24/7 championship. Corey MLB un-VIP'd, and we have a new 24/7 champion in Megan Sittin. There is always a danger. There is always a danger whenever you have a 24/7 championship, whenever you have it, but you are just drawing attention to it. Jermaine says, I can see Alexa Bliss winning Money in the Bank and cashing on the same night. Charlotte Flair beating Rhea Ripley and Alexa beating Charlotte and walking out as a new Raw Women's Champion. I don't think there's any reason to have Charlotte win if that's the case. I mean, they will choose not to have Charlotte win if that's the case. I think Alexa Bliss will be winning, but I think she'll be holding on to it for a while. My predictions are Alexa Bliss and Matt Riddle. Joe did confirm his in-ring is not done. Yeah, basically in the interview with Ryan Satin, Samoa Joe confirmed everything that we said when he was released and everything that we formally said when his new contract, when we shared his new contract information. So everything that we've reported, everything that I've reported here, confirmed by Samoa Joe, which is always a good day for me. Always a good day for me. And Megan representing with her crown. The match has gotten quite lucha. It's gotten a lot of fun. Quite a few kicks. A lot of fast pace. John Morrison just hit Ricochet with a flying crotch. The Shining Crotch? Shining Crotched? These two should be having a match of the week sort of match. So far, it's good. It's not match of the week. Love how he hangs in the air when he does that. He just hangs in the air for Starship Pain, waiting for a moment so everyone can move out the way. A Chris Jericho style springboard dropkick there. Goes for the dive, but Morrison goes into the Thunderdome. Clever. It is clever. Good defense. Oh! We all know there's a crash pad there. I don't care. That was so smoothly done. So smooth. Double count out. No issue with it after a spot like that. There's a time and a place for a double count out. That was fun. Yes, Matt, there was a crash pad. There is regularly a crash pad there. That particular spot is always set up like that. Corey says, if you guys didn't see earlier today, we were talking about the WWE tryouts in Las Vegas in August. I got to say it's interesting. I'm curious to see if we're going to have some people in the NXT UK and NXT, possibly see them maybe winning a title or two if they're really that good. Curious how they're going to train them for sure. We'll wait and see. There's a lot to work out, but we are where we are. James says, my feed's about 30 seconds behind yours. I'll try and be careful then. I knew something cool was coming. That was great. It was just so smooth. It's just so smooth. It looks like our third hour draw segment is going to be the Charlotte Flair hour. Makes sense that we'll have the 6-woman tag match now. Women have been very well represented this week. A couple of weeks ago, Raw decided to focus on the women's division, and it got a good show out of it. Last week, they had some good focus on the women's division as well. This week, some good focus on the women's division. It's turning it around. It is turning it around. Yeah, we are seeing a recap now of Charlotte versus Rhea. Still the silliest DQ in the history of DQs, apart from all the others. They are now trying to kayfabe this pairing. Trying to kayfabe Charlotte, Natalya, and Tamina. Tamina doesn't look like she's going to be kayfabed. Fair, Megan. Megan says, probably because they actually have something resembling a women's division. We all know SmackDown doesn't. SmackDown really doesn't. Barely anyone there. Charlotte actually remembered. Charlotte actually remembered that she was working with Dana Brooke a while back. Matt says, I think we're going to get Natty, Tamina versus Mandy Dana at Money in the Bank. So only 3 women left for Money in the Bank. I don't see that personally. I think they need Natty and Tamina in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Because otherwise they don't have anyone. There's no one left. If you don't have Natalya and Tamina, you've got Carmella, you've got Liv Morgan already. The only people then left in the entire division are Bianca Belair and Bayley, who already have a match booked in for Money in the Bank, and Sasha Banks, who's not currently on TV. So that leaves you with 3 people, even if you count Sasha Banks. They need Natalya and Tamina. I didn't forget Mia Yim. I have not seen her wrestle on SmackDown. If she hasn't debuted on SmackDown, I can't sit here and say that she's a SmackDown talent. I can't. until she debuts, I do not factor her into matches like this. It's especially telling how late Sasha is expected to return. If they were saving her for Money in the Bank, surely she'd be winning it. Because otherwise, why would you bother saving her? Jermaine says, hey, Tom, do you think Kaylee Ray gets moved to SmackDown? Only asked because nobody saw Piper Niven getting moved from NXT UK to Raw. Could it happen again for Kaylee Ray to SmackDown? It could. I don't personally see it. I think Kaylee Ray will be going to NXT to fill some gaps there. And I think we'll be looking at Ember Moon, Io Shirai, Dakota Kai, Toni Storm, all coming up from NXT. I think Io Shirai and Toni Storm will go to Raw. And I think Dakota Kai and Ember Moon will go to SmackDown. Then there'll be a bit of trading. Bayley for Asuka, for example. Maybe a couple more. I think one lower down the card woman would go to SmackDown, maybe Mandy Rose, and then leave it there. It's more likely to be Naomi, let's be honest. So that's what I see happening there. NXT is going to need to replenish its forces. So NXT UK may be plundered. I think Io Shirai suits Raw more, personally. I think they want to get Io versus Charlotte going. And Charlotte staying on Raw, so. Someone Seven says, what do you think Sasha will be doing after SummerSlam? I think she'll be celebrating SmackDown Women's Championship win. Probably having a rematch against Bianca Belair and then going up against Asuka. That's what I personally see. Megan says, I don't want Kaylee Ray to move from NXT UK until after Bea Priestley / Blair gets a match with her personally. I don't think they're going to... I think she's done there, personally. I think she's done. Thoughts on Rev Pro vacating their championship in the women's division? There's clearly a reason. It may be a case that Rev Pro simply have a rule that if you go on a tryout, you get fired. It may genuinely be that, but I'm not aware of that. I don't think that's the case. Surely there's been a job offer for that to happen. Now, they're struggling in Rev Pro because they're being poached. That's just simple reality. But if they've had to vacate, they've had to vacate. And they'll just have to rebuild as best they can. NXT UK is not killing British wrestling. It's absolutely not killing British wrestling. But it's certainly making it harder for small independent federations. And I know that because I work with them. Matt agrees that it's probably because the tryout went well. WWE are struggling with these tryouts. They're looking for a talent level, and apparently that talent level has not been found. You got a commercial for Black Widow? I've seen a couple of them. I didn't see one there. I'm seeing a boxing commercial right now. But not long until we get it. Not long now. Wow. Megan says ICW hasn't had a women's champion since last March. That's a long time. I'd imagine they haven't been putting on shows, so. Matt says, I thought it a very interesting timing that Bee's vignette aired a few days later. Jamie Hayter rumored to move to NXT UK as well. I don't think they're necessarily connected. They're two separate people, so they're doing what they can. Jermaine says, I think WrestleVote said that Shotzi Blackheart and Scarlett had a match on main event this week. They did say that. It's still a tryout. I'm still working out the logistics. They want Scarlett to wrestle. And because they want Scarlett to wrestle, they want to separate Scarlett and Karrion Kross. But it might not happen. Yeah, again, Matt, I don't think they're connected. The WWE will not have factored that into the signings. Eli Drake is a garage mechanic who overcharges is great. Where am I looking for that? Is that something I've missed here? Oh, right. I did not know that. Did not know that at all. ICW keeping going. Fair enough. All power to him. All power to him. Is that your local promotion, Megan? I'd imagine so. ICW is huge in Scotland. Well, to be fair, Matt, she may also just want to go to NXT UK. It's very possible that her friend has nothing to do with it and she just wants to be there. NXT UK is not the devil. People might just want to be there. Mandy Rose has never been a women's champion. How do you think it feels when someone like Rhea Ripley comes up and immediately overtakes so many people? Just immediately overtakes, what, 4 of the women in this match? Reminds me of when Test was being pushed and then the Radicals came in. It was like, nah, not anymore. I see it. Megan said, I think they're the closest being in Glasgow. Had tickets before the pandemic happened, but show has been officially cancelled. Yeah, makes sense. Fair enough. We are approaching our 3rd hour with a scrap. Just a big scrap. Liking it. Sorry to hear that, Matt. Sorry to hear that. A fair point, Megan. A very fair point. Kevin Dunn, I'd imagine, is thrilled right now. They did, J-Dub. They did. They were supposed to play the full promo, I'm sure, but then the fight started. It makes it feel real. You know, that's the most important thing. It makes it feel real. Usually when they start scrapping like this, it means they're about to go on a commercial break, but they've just had one. 2. There are 2 rivalries in this ring. That's a bad line. I want to say the faces stand tall, but here's a commercial. Here's a commercial break. Insufferable. It does. That's true. But sometimes, unfortunately, you have to do that. At some point, I feel like we need to think back to Great Balls of Fire. Do you remember the match right before the main event? Do you remember the match between Heath Slater and Zack Ryder? Nobody does, because they threw it on there to make it feel real that Roman Reigns just crashed an ambulance and Braun Strowman in the back. They threw it out there for that, and it helped. But that match finished when they weren't even on screen. Massively disrespectful to Heath Slater and Zack Ryder. Really helped Roman Reigns, really helped Braun Strowman. Sometimes you just got to do the job. Matt suggests that Rhea versus Charlotte needs a stipulation like a no DQ match. We'll wait and see. I'm sure a stipulation is coming. They needed to be in the cell. They needed to be in the cell. Basically, JW, yeah. Basically. Just commercial breaks during wrestling matches have always pissed me off. I don't see why they do it. I don't get it. Why would you? But we are about to start our 3rd hour. We know that this 3rd hour will feature a 6-woman tag match, which has just started. And we know that this 3rd hour will also feature the match between Matt Riddle, AJ Styles, and Drew McIntyre. That's really wild. You're up, hasn't it, J-Dub? You're really not happy with that one, are you? nothing ever needs to sell. Nothing ever needs to sell. It's just whether you want it to have the sell. I don't mind Bianca versus Bayley having the sell. They have a long rivalry. It started about a year ago, to be honest. J-Dub has redeemed a theme change. So we're going to change our theme. We're going to go pirate, guys. Are you all ready? If you're watching on YouTube, this may be a bit of a surprise to you, but over on Twitch, we have some channel point options. So you can spend channel points, and as the end result, you'll be able to make some changes. We have 3 theme change options, one of which is Christmas, which you've seen before, one of which is Fancy Pants, and one of which is Piracy. We have a hat. We have a cheap wooden sword. Guys, I'm a pirate. I'm a pirate. Are you a pirate? Is everyone pirates? Let's be pirates together. Let's be pirates that drink orangeade. That's what I'm drinking today. Thank you for the 10 bits, J-Dub. Appreciate that and appreciate the theme change. I'm a pirate that drinks my orangeade. We're not back in the day anymore, Matt. We're not back in the day. There aren't really any feud enders anymore. Everything comes back because people have much longer careers in wrestling. Something just went wrong for Tamina. Because that was just a mess. Not tremendous teamwork. That was just a mess. Matt, you've been the one saying stringently McIntyre will get another chance. You can't now sit here and say, oh, the cell was a feud ender. You can't have it both ways, mate. Either Drew gets another chance, which you are certain he will do, or it was a feud ender. Can't have both. Megan says it's nice to be able to tell Mandy and Dana apart. They keep getting too close to being the same. I didn't say you did. I said you said it was going to happen. You can't have both. You can't have him get the match and him not get the match. You gotta pick one, mate. You gotta pick one. But it says, good point about longevity of careers. Many wrestlers in the territory days were in and out of the business in 5-10 years. There was also a rotation between companies to consider back in WWF, WCW days, of course. Tends to be you'd have your top guys who'd go for a while, but after them, it was just a lot of rotation and people with very short careers. That's not the case anymore. I mean, how long has Roman Reigns been on main roster? What, 9 years? Thank you, Someone7, for reminding me. We still have the strap match. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. I'd forgotten about that one. We look now at an AJ Styles. AJ Styles has been wrestling for a very, very long time. Still wrestles now at the very highest of levels. Randy Orton debuted in 2002, nearly 20 years ago. He keeps revisiting feuds. Jeff Hardy, when did he debut? Was it 92, 93? Still going. Still going. I know, Megan, my heart sank a little bit, but yeah, well, factually, we needed the reminder. Ripley's in. They've got the crowd cheering, so I think she's supposed to be a face. It's genuinely impossible to tell. That headbutt was terrible. Northern Lights is beautiful. I can't not enjoy that. Jada says, overheard on commentary, ain't nobody meaner than Tamina. Ain't nobody meaner. Natalia just got a little bit kicked in the head. Why'd you tag Dana Brooke in? She's the one who's taken all the heat. Again, completely unnecessary cartwheels. If you're going to kick someone, just kick someone. Charlotte keeps going back for that knee. This is starting to feel like a bit of a cruiserweight match. Everyone just getting their stuff in. Pace is very good. I do worry it's coming to a close soon, which will mean it's like a 7-minute match. Right, you are, J-Dub. I think the fans will cheer. I think the fans will cheer. Not certain, but right you are. Charlotte picks up the win. Kind of expected the bad guys to win this one. Huh, I even had Mandy Rose taking the pin. Works out. Rhea Ripley with a hit and run, though. Genuinely hit and run. I don't like a hit and run. She doesn't quite feel like a champion for me yet. Yeah, I know. I know, Megan. Roman, at least I stay very close to his career. I feel bad for Elias. I felt bad for Elias for a long time. Now he's going to get strapped to Mr. America. America, fuck yeah. I just could not care less about this. Okay, so the 24/7 championship definitely still exists. He's an idiot. Another John Cena reference. Seen a few of them lately, haven't we? You're right, Megan. No one suffered worse from a lack of crowd than Elias did. I think that's why he was missing for so much of it. They had no idea what to do with him without a crowd to bounce off. God, this chair is so loud. I suspect they're doing this right before the main event because they know people will turn off. I said I feel sorry for Jackson Riker. Nothing happened. I just feel sorry for him. I don't want the zoom. He's got the intensity that Vince McMahon likes. Has Elias got new entrance music? It's just two big beefy guys smashing into each other, and I just couldn't care less. Elias has been main roster for a long time. He's not really won anything. Not really won anything. Yes, Matt, for now. Megan says I just keep thinking of Da Vinci Code, Riker flogging himself, which is nice because I'd rather watch Paul Bettany than Jackson Riker. Fair. Watched a lot of Paul Bettany recently. Did you ever see the film Wimbledon? It's not a great film, but he's very good in it. It's got a lot of Brighton in it, and I love Brighton. Bella says Elias is one bad run short of becoming Damien Sandow. Yeah. I honestly am a little bit surprised he's still there. And for someone like Elias, I shouldn't be saying that. I absolutely should not be saying that. But I'm a little surprised he's still there. Gotcha, Megan. At some point, I just fancied watching a random film. Ended up watching all of Wimbledon. Was like, that was all right. And then never revisiting it. The actual tennis stuff was pretty good. Genuinely made me interested in watching tennis. So I tried to watch some tennis. Then I turned it off. It's not that exciting. It's not that exciting. I'm not excited for this final hour. I think the main event's going to be a lot of fun. It's just sitting through all the crap that comes before. And my God, the commercial breaks. We know there's going to be at least 4 more. By the time we get to so we've got a commercial break, probably a commercial break during the match. So we'll have about 6 minutes of actual match. Then a promo, probably an Alexa Bliss promo, I reckon. Before we then get to the half hour before. Heads off. Says I'm off to bed. Going to try and get some sleep. Have a good day tomorrow, Tom. Keep me updated. Will do, Ed. Thank you very much for dropping in. I hope you have a great time and hope you get a good night's sleep, man. See you later. J-Dub says it's going to be tough getting to the main event. Agreed. It shouldn't be, but it will be. You can feel it, can't you? It's heavy. It's right there, just being annoying. Just being annoying. Someone 7 says this is a part of Raw where I turn off. You're not alone. Mentally, I have turned off. Mentally, I've switched off at this point. That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. I'm still physically here. I'm still watching for you guys. But mentally, I've checked out. Completely checked out. Jado blames the third hour. I blame this particular story. Last week, all 3 hours flew. Genuinely flew. Last week, it was a good show. That's the difference. Matt says Elias looks like a slimmer Santa Claus without the white hair and beard. Isn't that kind of like the defining trait of Santa Claus? Jacob says if Elias and Riker were on SmackDown, they wouldn't be on. Absolutely correct. You are absolutely right there. They absolutely would not be on. And Lizzie says Tom Colohue with pirate hair is superior. Pirate hat, I should say. Yeah, I have 3 options for theme changes. There is a pirate hat. There is fancy pants, which involves a tie, and this lovely looking dinner jacket. And there is the Christmas jumper. Bear with. Bear with. There we go. So I was looking for the Christmas jumper. It's not here. Don't know where it is. Yeah, ended up pulling the pad off. So you heard some actual Raw. Apologies. I'm connected to too many things. I need to not turn right. Hopefully I don't get shut down for that. I can't imagine so. They're literally showing all of Raw elsewhere. It did feel fresh last week. This one, not so much. There's still been good moments of this Raw, but it's not the same. Last week's Raw is great. This week is random. Yeah, I like what they're doing with Matt Riddle. I kind of like what they're doing on Piper. After that, I'm struggling. I like what they're doing with Nikki Cross. After that, I'm struggling. I'm not a strap match guy. I don't really get it. I don't feel it adds to the match. Yep. Elias getting booed. Disgusting. How dare the fans? I don't think I've ever been excited for a strap match. Even a Brahma Bull Rope match. Even then, I don't think I've ever been excited for it. When we get to the point at which fans are back and then we get our first sighting of Riker, they're going to let WWE know that they were wrong. Jacob says, this ref always looks like he's surprised to be there, more specifically like he travelled through time and ended up in the ring, like he has no clue what's going on or where he is. Just glanced over at who it is and yeah, I get you. Who else has that moment like? I don't know, mate. I don't know, but you're there. I don't think I've ever been excited for a strap match. This is still the least excited I've ever been. That says something that happened in the Battle Royal might be interesting is Ali eliminating Mansoor. They are trying to develop that nice and smoothly. Nothing too fancy, but nice and smooth. And it's the right move. Just keep developing things that do at least seem interesting. And that does definitely seem interesting. Ref sells the moves more than the wrestlers do and he isn't even being hit. To be fair, that helps a match for me. But there is a limit to it. There's a certain level at which it becomes parody. No, Matt. No. I didn't. I don't get it. Like, what's the point of the strap? Just wrestle. It severely limits the mobility of everyone involved. This match, for example, so far has been whip, 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 whip. I'm very bored. Oh, a wrestling move. That's nice. Rare. And that's it. Maybe it's over. Maybe it's all over. Nim says, I like how WWE is doing with Riddle and Nikki Cross, but I don't like what they're doing with Rhea, Charlotte Flair building up their match to Money in the Bank, and of course with Asuka. Should have had a focus on the Women's Money in the Bank match put her in a meaningless tag team with Naomi and a filler storyline. She's helping put other people over, not necessarily the worst thing. WWE Network's Twitter literally just posted a backstage video of Mansoor getting angry at all, and the two argue. Yeah, why not? Why can't that just be on Raw? If that had been on Raw, that'd have been great. I've got time. Yes, Nick, you missed Alexa Bliss. She was on end of the first hour. So 45 minutes in, she was in there. Yes, he won. Yay. Lizzie completely agrees with Noob. Yeah, Asuka's an afterthought. And that's being polite. She's just being given absolutely nothing to work with. Respect from Damian Priest, wishing Riddle good luck. It looks like we're heading towards Priest versus Orton. I'd be there for that. Would you be against a Damian Priest heel turn? Yes. For a while yet. Damian Priest has literally just debuted, and without Bad Bunny, he doesn't have a lot of personality. He hasn't really been established properly. Vignettes like that, little clips like that, very good, very positive. Will help to establish who he is, but we're not there yet. So let's not mess him around too much early on. Jacob says best part of the 3 hours has been Riddle and of course Ricochet. Genuinely think Riddle's done a great job this week. Also, everyone had their reaction when they saw Jungle Boy Jack Perry kissing Anna Jay. Did they? I scrolled. It's their personal life. I don't know. I'm sure they're both very happy. I hope they're both very happy, and all credit to them. I don't get this thing that so many people have had, where everyone's saying like, "Oh, well done, Jungle Boy." I don't know the woman. I don't know if that's a well done moment. I don't know him. Is it a well done for her? Should we not be saying well done for her? I don't get that one. Ah. 40 minutes left. 40 minutes. Not long. Not long. Drew McIntyre is apparently up next. We know that because surely the main event's coming. But instead, it looks like he's going to get a backstage promo before then going on to have a main event. Matt says, speaking of Jungle Boy, he and Omega had a damn good match. Fair enough. I heard very good things about it. Heard very good things. And Megan says, it's nice to see nice things, and Jungle Boy and Anna Jay is a nice thing. That's it, really. Fair enough. That works. Like I say, I hope they're very happy. We need more happy people in the world. The world is full of miserable fuckers. And it's not a good thing. We need more cheer. We need more pirate hats. That's it. That's it. What we need is more pirate hats. That'll solve every problem. More pirate hats. There's a GIF. I think the best thing about the Elias and Jackson Riker feud is that we're not going to see it again for another week. We get a week off from it. That'll be nice. Have a nice sleep. What did you send, Matt? Yeah, I've seen that a lot. I've seen that a lot. But yeah, for anyone who wants, Matt has just posted a picture of Damian Priest way back when. Way back when. I think it's a good point. This is now the longest possible time before another Riker-Elias match. Yes, the longest possible time. Bad Bunny's not coming back just yet, Matt. Don't get overexcited. It'll be a little while before Bad Bunny returns. Damian Priest can't have every feud defined by Bad Bunny. Can't have every one of them. He needs to have some solo feuds eventually. And a feud between Priest and Randy Orton? That works for me. No, I don't. I definitely don't think that. Nick Khan is very happy with his choices. Jackson Riker was the cheap one, basically. Good match for NXT, that. Io Shirai and Zoe Stark, why is that a thing? Like, why is that a thing? What great journalism. Excuse me, Drew, can you win your match tonight? They make people in these backstage interviewing positions sound like absolute morons with the questions they make them ask. Excuse me, Drew, are you a wrestler? Do you think you can win a wrestling match? Just... Once that shirt and tie goes on, all he cares about are the numbers. He barely even knows people's names. I guarantee you, the writer who was just let go for not knowing enough about wrestling knows more about wrestling than Nick Khan does. Drew McIntyre quite rightly saying that question was ridiculous. Because it was ridiculous. Someone said celebrating Drew the storyteller. Physical Nick saying need to get rid of Drew. I'm over him, he's boring. I wouldn't say get rid of him per se. But there definitely needs to be some changes. Matt said Zoe earned the respect of EO, and Zoe came to EO's aid 2 weeks ago. That's why they are a team. Bit weak, but we are where we are. Megan saying, I would like to respectfully disagree to this heathen statement. Some lovely phrasing. Lovely phrasing. Megan still firmly believes in Drew McIntyre. Me too, but I do think a change needs to be made. I wouldn't get rid of him by any stretch, but a change needs making. They are making a point of the phrase last chance. Now, I still expect this to be a bit of a clusterfuck. I still expect Jinder Mahal. I still expect the Viking Raiders. I still expect Omos. A lot going on. Right, now they're running down what they're planning for next week. A rematch, Xavier Woods against Bobby Lashley again. I got no issue with it. It's a rematch, yes, but Xavier Woods deserves that opportunity. Lizzie says, I feel they don't know what to do with Drew, but they want him in Raw and they got it, but they don't know what to do. I do feel at this point, his story has run its course. His story has just kind of run its course. They need to either give him a new story or make a change. And they don't seem to have landed on a new story. He's a 3-time WWE champion now. I think he's a 3-time champion. Is he a 3-time champion? No, he's a 2-time champion. He's a 2-time WWE champion. And when you lose the championship, you have to have enough about you to survive it. And I think face Drew McIntyre is built entirely around that belt to a worrying degree. Heel Drew McIntyre would have been absolutely fine. I prefer the heel Drew McIntyre, to be completely honest. Like it says, I'm going to miss his whole entrance when crowds come back. I'm guessing there won't be as much fire and pyro. Probably not, no. There'll still be some. I do always like that you get fire. And Drew McIntyre uses the same fire that Alexa Bliss uses. But when Alexa Bliss uses it, it's magic. Magic. When Drew McIntyre uses it, it's science. Makes perfect sense. Still looking for that blue heart. Styles got a bit of pyro too. I am starting to think Omos might still be carrying a hand injury. The tape covers all manner of ills. This is a good spot for Matt Riddle to be in. Since WrestleMania, he's wrestled Matt Riddle. He's teamed with Randy Orton, and now he's wrestling AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre. This is a great position for him to be in. I do think this is our Money in the Bank winner, Matt Riddle. Completely screwed up kicking off the shoes there. Completely screwed it up. One shoe went behind him. He's tied his hair up. We're going to have another break now. With another 2 to come. Noob says he wants a story where Asuka's taunting Rhea and Charlotte that she's going to win the women's Money in the Bank briefcase and cash in on them instead. But instead she's reduced in a storyline with Naomi. Yeah, she's not going to win, basically. She's not really in a storyline with Naomi. She's just a body. She's literally just filling the spot. Someone 7 says, why do you think he'll win Money in the Bank? I just think it's the next step. I think they're treating him like a star in his connection to Randy Orton in his match with Bobby Lashley. We talked about this on Nick and Tom's Intercontinental Adventure. I didn't necessarily think first that would be the case. But Nick Barbati, my colleague there, really made a very strong point and kind of sold it for me. So yeah, I fully agree now. He's very much convinced me. And looking at how he's being treated this week, Matt Riddle, he feels like a Money in the Bank winner. He definitely feels like a Money in the Bank winner. We have a new follower. Thank you very much for following. Yeah, dude, 518. 518 yeah dudes in a row. It's like the new 500 bottles of beer, but this time comes with a yeah dude, which makes sense because we're watching Matt Riddle. Welcome to the show, yeah dude. Thank you for following. You'll get a notification every time we go live. We're watching Raw right now. We watch SmackDown on Fridays. We do wrestling news shows called Spoiler Warning on Mondays and Fridays as well. That is on at 10 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. EST. And we do gaming content on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You'll get a notification every time I go live. If you're only interested in wrestling content, Mondays and Fridays, but you can always check out the Football Manager stream on Tuesdays or the Final Fantasy stream on Thursdays as well. Bailey says the third hour has ground to a halt again. It has. It really has. The 6-on-1 tag match was not very long, was very brief and we didn't really get much time to get into it. And in addition to that, it's just the strap match did nothing for me. The promos haven't been particularly strong. It's not the strongest finish to it. Sorry to hear that, Matt. Liz says, do you think when fans return, WrestleMania will continue to be a 2-day pay-per-view? I actually do. We heard after last year's 2-day event that we were going to go back to 1 day. I never believed it. Now, after this year's 2-day event, we've heard once again, it'll be back to 1 year. I don't really believe it. They can sell 2 lots of tickets to the event. 2 lots of tickets. And instead of doing a 7-8 hour show, they can do 2 3-hour shows. So people are going to be going home a lot happier. They're going to know what they're signing up for. I'd much prefer it personally, and I think most fans would. J-Dub says, I'm just curious, is it the same person every stream that takes time to go into the YouTube stream and click dislike? I don't know, but I would imagine so. But yeah, we have 1 dislike over on YouTube. If you are currently watching on YouTube, please do remember to click like. That does help us grow. The dislikes are, you're free to express yourself. It doesn't actually have a negative impact. You're free to express yourself, but it's a little disheartening every time I see like 1 dislike. There are times I get 30 or 40 likes on a video, and again, just 1 dislike. Not a fan of it. It doesn't J-Dub. I have no idea who's clicked like or who's clicked dislike. No clue whatsoever. The anonymity is why they get away with it. Megan says, imagine if AJ wins, then Money in the Bank almost just pulls out a kickstool to reach the briefcase for AJ. I mean, that's an enjoyable image. I am still predicting Randy Orton will be in the Money in the Bank match. So I'm still predicting Matt Riddle will be picking up the win. Which will be a very, very good moment for him. Drew McIntyre is dominant. Oh, that was a hell of a suplex. Drew McIntyre is dominant, which very much tells you who WWE think the star is in this match. You can always tell. I'm not blaming you, Matt. You do whatever you feel is right. Matt Riddle starting to get a second wind. And caught. A very romantic moment between McIntyre and Riddle. And he flew. Oh. This match is very much going to play to Drew McIntyre's strengths. It's brutal. Megan says, I think it may be an intentional visual, but Drew looks massive compared to AJ and Riddle. You're not wrong. You're really not wrong. And they're playing up to that. They're very much... The clever part of that back body drop was that they switched to a camera angle underneath when it happened. They intentionally switched to a camera angle underneath. So it looked like he absolutely flew. I have no idea what you're saying there. Oh, no, I've got it, Matt. I've got it, yeah. Drew McIntyre's new gimmick is a history teacher. A Scottish history teacher. Particularly Scottish history. I imagine the English aren't going to come across too well from that. For valid reasons. We've been shitty to a lot of people. It amazes me the French even give us a time of day after the 100 Years' War. It amazes me that the Americans give us a time of day when you consider that literally Independence Day is about you celebrating getting away from us. Crazy world. Omos can get involved here. There is no reason he can't get involved. It's no DQ. Because triple threats, as we know, aren't disqualification, so that's fine. The referee is sending a message. He's changing something. Lisa says, in your opinion, who could win the Money in the Bank? We did talk about this a little bit earlier. I'll reiterate, but with a bit less information. I believe that the winners will be Alexa Bliss and Matt Riddle. That makes the most sense to me. Alexa Bliss and Matt Riddle. Alexa Bliss will be hovering around Rhea Ripley. She'll be turning the lights out, turning the lights back on, etc., etc., etc. Meanwhile, Matt Riddle will be carrying a briefcase around in a little basket on the front of his scooter. That's what I see. I guess it says England equal bad. That's a fair bit of Scottish history. It's not undeserved. It's not undeserved. That bright pink highlighter on the announce desk, I thought I was seeing something else. Something with a button on the bottom. That's all I'm saying. Matt says I should see shenanigans in this match from Viking Raiders, Orton, maybe Priest. We did talk earlier. I believe shenanigans, Viking Raiders, Jinder Mahal, Omos. Orton, of course, is not there. Yeah, Megan says it's all about who comes out first. I think Mahal. I think Jinder Mahal first. Jinder says, do you think WWE will storyline destroy the LED screens for Thunderdome on last show without crowd? I really hope so. Especially when you consider it's being pre-recorded. I would very much like that. Drew McIntyre through the table. Which now makes it a brief one-on-one match and perfect for another commercial break. Nick says Shayna lost to Nikki Cross. She did. Almost clean. Almost clean. Of course, it's not as regards the English being not undeserving. And of interfering douche pricks who wouldn't leave us alone. Yep, it's true. It's absolutely correct. The English have a habit of trying to own everything and everyone. I am English, but I'm also Irish. And I will lean back on the Irish part until the end of time. Lisa says the crowds are the heart in the pay-per-view. I agree. I cannot wait for crowds to come back. I cannot believe how close it is now. So close. When we get to so next Wednesday, for everyone watching, next Wednesday is my birthday, my 33rd birthday. And for my 33rd birthday, I'm going to be streaming. I'm going to be streaming a lot. And I hope to see you guys all joining me periodically over the course of the day. I'm not sure how to really celebrate, but I'd like to throw a birthday party on a stream. Don't know what that looks like. I won't have any presents or anything, but I will try and find like streamers or party poppers or something ridiculous like that. Get one of those really cheap party packs and just go for it. To celebrate being the birthday boy. Try my best. Try my best. Megan says, as soon as I saw the last Raw was being recorded, my instant thought was it's getting totally destroyed. When I recorded the video in which I say the Thunderdome will be retired, I specifically mention there is some destruction coming its way. There is a lot of people who really want to fuck the whole thing up. And Lizzie says, I love your British accent. Thank you, Lizzie. I try. It's one of those. It's a northern British accent. I can do southern. But at the moment, I'm very, very northern. I say bath. I say grass. I could go Queen's English, but I don't necessarily see the value in it. So I'll stick to what I've got. Thank you. I did rather well when I was over in Florida. Did rather well. Did rather well. My partner didn't. They all thought she was Australian, and she does speak Queen's English. She does speak Queen's English. And everyone thought she was Australian. So I would say, I'd like to order this. And they'd go, yeah, sure. She'd say something. Nobody would understand a word that she said. So I'd put on my Georgian accent and repeat what she said. And they'd get that fine. She didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. About a quarter of an hour left. There'll be one more commercial break and plenty of wrestling still to go. Once we wrap up, I'll be looking for someone to raid pretty quickly because it will be 4 a.m. 4 a.m. and I will be scarpering nice and quick. I do have to be up by 9 for an interview, so I like Corey Graves just sat on the barricade, dodging the table break. Styles and Riddle do have very good chemistry. Very good natural chemistry. Hopefully they'll keep that up. Oh, I like Corey Graves' dinner jacket. I like that. Drew is indeed taking a nap. Standard triple threat booking in the WWE, to be honest. I think they're trying to relive Seth Cena, Brock Lesnar. Just about Drew winning at the end. Yeah, Jada, basically, yes. One interview in the can, one offer, and now another interview. This is for a backup job, essentially. I will take the one that's been offered. If something falls through, I'm doing this interview, so I have that as a backup option. The one that I've been offered is a 3-month temporary role. The one that I'm interviewing for tomorrow is a 2.5-month temporary role. So like it's still temporary, but it'll give me another 3 months. And if I can get the job that I applied for and interviewed for on Sunday, then I can trade from the temporary job to that job full time. Megan says nope, missed it. Megan says I got asked if I was Canadian once randomly. Interesting. Do you say a boot? I don't think you do. I don't think you do. Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. I think the country's just opening back up. So jobs are starting to appear. Yeah, I'm just glad. I'm just glad things are starting to work. Things are starting to work out. People are starting to read my my CV, my resume, and say, "This guy's worth our time." That's the dream. That's the hope. And yeah, hopefully nothing else screws up along the way. Because ultimately, a 3-month temporary post will give me maybe, I think, 4, maybe 5 extra months here. It also means I can buy my niece a birthday present. That was what I was most worried about. Genuinely, that was what I was most worried about, not being able to buy my niece a birthday present. She's very important to me. But they would give me at least 3 months, maybe 4 extra in this house. So it'll take me to the end of the year. In that time, I will still be here on Twitch. And Twitch has been pretty good for me recently. Give me an extra 3 months here. Who knows what we can achieve? Who knows? So I don't think I'll be anywhere near full-time per se. In order to be full-time, I'm basically looking at like $30 a day, and it's not going to happen. And I'm not going to sit here and ask for it. But it's a start. It's a start. Good sell by Riddle there. Would this match be more interesting if it was elimination? No, I don't think so. I like triple threats. That was to do with how I said it. Person was trying to figure out if I was Scottish or Canadian, and I toned down my accent when I travel. I think a lot of Scottish people do. I think a lot of Scottish people do, which is a shame. But if you have difficulty understanding someone, I kind of get it. Yeah, there are meant to be no road breaks in an ODQ match. Some referees forget, basically. Some referees forget. We haven't seen Drew McIntyre in about 10 minutes now. Matt Riddle with the draping DDT. Oh, that was really well delivered as well. That was a proper Randy Orton delivery. He doesn't punch, he slaps. He doesn't punch, he slaps. Oh. Riddle's going to hurt himself. That was a beautiful catch. That was fun. A lot of people in that Thunderdome are very into this, and I get it. was going for the RKO and just got caught. A burning hammer reference in WWE programming. It's all AJ could really do in that position. Drew McIntyre's back. To be clear, AJ Styles' back touched none of those surfaces. Literally 0 out of 3. McIntyre's going pretty soft at the minute, to be honest. Unusual for him, considering how physical an opponent he is. Oh, and someone's trying to sneak in and win a championship. Corey MLB is back, and he has redeemed a 24/7 championship win. He's our new 24/7 champion, Megan. Unfortunately, I've got to take it away. VIP removed from Megan. Corey takes it. Megan says, I've done it a lot. It's actually quite fun to see the change when people realize I'm a Scot. They're nicer to me mostly. Oh. Oh, Megan immediately reclaims. Corey had his moment in the sun, but Megan's here to ruin his day. Corey MLB is un-VIP'd. And a new VIP for Megan, who reclaims that diamond. For anyone currently watching on YouTube, the 24/7 Championship is a channel point option on Twitch. You can follow us at twitch.tv/Tom Colahue to learn more. This match has been really fun. We're back to fighting on the outside. Suggests that we're about to get another commercial break. Moments in the sun are fine until someone turns it into a pretty fire. I like that. I like that. Omos still has not been involved at any point. I don't get why. It's no DQ. Now would be the ideal time. You're about to go. Oh. We're about to go to commercial break. Everyone's down. Ultimately, maybe you should wear boots. That's all I'm saying. Corey got there just as I did as well. And that's why you have shoes on when you wrestle. I still think he's going to win the match. He's going to refuse to leave. We've got our commercial break. I'd imagine he's going to be backstage when we get back. And then in 2 or 3 minutes, he's going to walk out to a fanfare. Vince is fine with it. Vince actually prefers the boots off when it comes to Matt Riddle. Don't know why. He says you got a lot of Asuka fans on Twitter who want to see Asuka every week. You're not doing a great job protecting Asuka as of late. She can't win everything. This is a tell-off for Vince McMahon, so we're going to do it properly and formally. I swear we do this every week, but here we go. Vince, I know you're watching. Every week we hit you with this one. Noob always has the same concern. You're not using Asuka very well, and you're not. She doesn't feel like a big deal anymore. She doesn't feel like a big anything anymore. She doesn't really feel like she factors into any of the equations. She's just sort of there. She's taking the pins. She's turned into a bit of a Shayna Baszler, and it hurts me to say that because I'm also not liking what you've been doing to Shayna Baszler. I know somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose, but Noob really wants to make sure Asuka can finally get some wins and be treated like a big deal again. You've not been doing that because you are a bad Vince. Connecting people for wrestling is here saying, checking in now, was this a fun show? In parts. Opening match, main event, yes. Everything else, So, half and half. Welcome to the show, mate. Corey says he'll put ice on his foot and then boom, he'll be back. Is a Riddle injury real or fake? It's fake. It's 100% fake. And Megan says Orton sat out a whole chunk of the Rumble, so this is Riddle doing his homage. Basically, yeah. Riddle knows what he's doing. He knows how to connect. He knows how to live up to the expectation that comes with being Randy Orton. Connecting people, so they've enjoyed the last few weeks of Raw, really enjoying the RK Bro stuff. You'll definitely like the first and last match then, because that is thoroughly RK Bro. The last few weeks have actually been really good. I think the focus on the women's division has done them a lot of favors, and they maintain that focus this week with 3 separate women's feuds. Well, sorry, 4 women's feuds, but 3 women's matches. So there's a lot there that really depends on who you are as an individual. If you're interested in the women's stuff, it's there. But we do have a few rematches. There is a Riddle Morrison match that was quite fun as well. That was a lot of fun. Noob says Matt Riddle's very awesome tonight, and someone 7 says, do you still think Jinder is coming out? Personally, I do. I think we're definitely going to see the Viking Raiders. I just think it's going to end as a massive clusterfuck. What can I say? This match, when it was announced, had clusterfuck written all over it, and that's what I think we're going to get. Certainly don't see any reason why not, but right now we're in our final commercial break, or it better be the final one because I've only got 5 minutes left. Megan is suggesting Jinder, Damien, and the Viking Raiders, all of them, because why the hell not? Why the hell not? Why can't we all just not get along? Can't we all just not get along? That's the wrestling fan cry, isn't it? So Matt Riddle is currently backstage. Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles are alone wrestling a one-on-one match. Basically, it's a standard trade. A very standard trade. And of course, McIntyre and Styles have wrestled before. Riddle and Styles have wrestled before. So it's quite fitting that we haven't seen McIntyre versus Riddle in the one-on-one scenario. Thank you, Corey, for that shout out there. Really do appreciate it. Jinder Mahal has cut several promos over the last few weeks and months about Drew McIntyre. His reason is that he wants Drew McIntyre, basically. Styles really can't do anything to physically compete with McIntyre at this point. McIntyre is just beating him. Constantly under the thumb, just keeping him down, holding him down. I do like the guy in the Thunderdome who's just doing the AJ Styles thing. I respect it. Represent, you know? You better recognize. I miss D'Lo Brown. It's worth remembering, of course, this is for a Money in the Bank spot. It's easy to forget that in this situation because it feels like a number 1 contendership match. That says to me that they've done a good job with this. They've made it feel like it means something, and it does. Styles is having his turn at the top. They zoomed really far in on Drew there. I saw a lot of detail in that mustache. It's a lot of detail. The commentary team is still watching on monitors. They've just set the monitors up on their ruined table. I like that. I really like that. Styles wanted the clash. He's not going to get it. Oh, that Michinoku driver is genuinely beautiful. Styles is clever. He doesn't leave his eyes wide open to say that he's going to kick out. He waited until the count of 2 before then kicking out. Then opening his eyes, I should say. 2 minutes left. No sign of Viking Raiders. No sign of Jinder. No sign of Damian Priest. Not even a Matt Riddle. And Omos has not been involved at all. We didn't get a good angle of that. Not sure what happened. Yeah, they don't, Matt. They don't. So there's literally just 2 minutes left. Oh, look, here comes Matt Riddle. McIntyre getting out of the car crasher using the good old-fashioned Dean Ambrose. He's got a submission on Styles. McIntyre just sort of letting him do it. McIntyre gets taken out of a kick. He's out of the ring, but he's standing. So he's waiting for his spot. Oh, lovely knee. RKO? RKO. Omos pulls AJ Styles out. And Drew McIntyre gets the win. Did you? Because you said, Matt, that the Hell in a Cell was a feud ender. We already had this conversation. Drew McIntyre picks up the win with a Claymore to Matt Riddle. Drew McIntyre will feature in Money in the Bank ladder match. And he's not the right man for me. I don't think he suits that match type. Megan says, Orton coming out on a scooter would have been fun as a swerve, but I suppose this will have to do. Swerve-wise, they created enough doubt for me, which is good. They created enough doubt for me. There's still plenty of time for people to get involved in the actual Money in the Bank match. Jinder Mahal, obviously, is still the obvious one for me. And Drew McIntyre is going to be on Raw Talk. But they're just wrapping it up nice and quick. I agree, J-Dub. That was not the right decision. But it is the decision that they made. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Tom Collihew. This has been our Raw Watch Party. We do these every single week. So if you haven't clicked follow or subscribe yet, please do so. I am going to be wrapping it up there because I'm up quite early. Megan says, next 2 weeks sorted, then Jinder goes after Drew to take his spot. Yeah, makes sense to me. Makes sense. I would definitely back that. It's a logical path. You've got to take the opportunity away from Drew now so that he feels cheated. I think he's got to feel cheated, but he already does feel cheated. You can't just feel cheated. You have to feel super cheated. We're going to look at potential raid options. See who we've got that people might be interested in. Just a lot of full shows. I need to follow more people. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it for now. So we're going to wrap it up. I've been Tom Collihew. If you haven't already, do please click follow, click subscribe, share bits, whatever works for you, whatever you want to do. I'm going to wrap it up. I hope everyone's had a good time and everyone's had fun. I certainly have. Thank you very much, Lizzie, for the follow as well. And thank you very much, yeah, dude, for the follow too. Hopefully we see you guys at some point soon in the future as well. Lizzie, we'd love to see you joining for more watch parties. Great to see people chatting along and getting along with each other and just having a good time. For anyone who wants to get more information about the shows as they're happening, please do check out Discord. You can join the family over on Discord, where I will be promoting my YouTube videos and streams and the like. And it gives you an alert when I'm online and streaming as well, because it goes into streaming mode, although it hasn't done it now for some reason. Yes, Corey, tomorrow I'll be doing Football Manager. That starts at 8 p.m. UK time. That's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is a football-related stream. It is gaming. Gaming is on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we'll be back for more wrestling on Friday. Until then, thank you very much, everyone, for joining me, and I'll see you soon.